There we go.
Hello everyone, this is Jeff of Mouse. Today we have another creation sent to us by Larry, who also sent us the 69 caliber mini balls. At first I thought these were factory made slugs. They were so shiny and nicely made, but no, he actually cast these at home. Now this one I'm displaying is kind of dinged up. I dropped it a couple times. Gives you an idea how soft the lead is. He used pure lead, and he also used a mixture of tire weights and other scrap lead to create these things. As you can see, it has kind of a crayon shaped tapered nose and a very deep hollow cavity in the base, and this of course brings the center of gravity way forward, so hopefully we'll have a good stable flight even without spin. Even though this shares some of the designs of a Foster slug, this is actually a black powder bullet. The mold that Larry used comes from Moose Molds, which is a really small company. In fact, they call it a hobby business. And they sell a lot of molds to, like Civil War era black powder shooters. And that's what Larry's hobby is. They have no fancy name for these things. They just call them wad cutter hollow base bullets. In our test, we'll be using smokeless powder, not black powder, and we'll use modern components. Since these are sub-caliber projectiles, we'll have to use a sabot of some sort, which will be done by using a shot cup. In other words, just like the Lee key drive slugs or Lyman pellet-shaped slugs. If these moose bullets function well as a 12 gauge projectile, well, that's just one more option we have, and you're supporting a small business, a small American business, and that may be important to you. Let's head out to the Mouse test range, see how these things function. We'll be testing them through smoothbore and also a rifled shotgun, and filming it with a high-speed camera to see how stable they are in flight.
Alright, Tailflater folks, we got something different here. Jeff will give you a little tabletop view of these, a little discussion about them, but they're from a Moose brand mold. And these are a wad cutter. Kind of looks like
wad cutter hollow base.
Hollow base.
There's no fancy name for them.
I call them a semi-wad cutter because it looks like a crayon.
It does look like a crayon tip.
Yeah.
Similar design as the mini ball, made by the same guy who cast the mini ball rounds.
Got about a 1/4 inch blunt wad cutter in
okay.
there. That's going to hit hard.
500 grains compared to 720. These might be a little more pleasant to shoot. We want to see if they're a viable 12 gauge round. The company that makes them would probably love to sell the 12 gauge guys,
Oh yeah.
So if it goes well, we're going to tell the company about, hey, check this out, man, you got a good product. And if it doesn't go well, it's like,
Yeah, but if it's good, man, the versatility of the round and
yeah.
that opens up the market for.
Yep.
You could double their sales.
Yeah. So that's what it's all about.
Well,
okay.
Let's see what they do downrange here.
Yeah, we're going to use a full rifle barrel at first and see how that does. Maybe they'll work through a smoothbore like the mini ball.
We got enough of them here. I think we could try.
Yeah. We're going to hydro shock that VHS tape, just for fun, visual effects.
Which one was that?
It's
Virus?
Virus, yeah, with what's her name? Okay, let's do it, man. I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Fire in the hole.
No problem.
Let's take a look at the Chronos high-speed camera footage. The first shot through full rifling looks very promising, very accurate slug, and that's just our first shot. We didn't take any practice shots at all. Now Danny's shotgun is sighted in at 50 yards using just regular Foster slugs. Since different slugs have different ballistics, we usually start out at 10 or 12 yards at a relatively good sized target, figure out where the point of impact is, and just adjust as we go along.
Okay, again, we're about 10, 12 yards away. Just figured out where these land. So far it's looking really good. Okay, aim at the piece of blue tape. Try to get a chrono reading. Okay, anytime you're ready.
All right, here we go.
14, 16, not bad, not bad.
Shot number 2 through full rifling looks pretty good. The slug was very stable in flight. The slug hit just a little bit low, and that could be human error. And following along at near supersonic speeds is our toilet paper filler plug. The purpose of that is to prevent the wad from getting shoved into the cavity, and it also protects the soft lead from deforming. And if you're curious to know, we still haven't gotten the toilet paper slugs from the hydraulic press channel.
There's a mini ball, Denver's giant pellet, and then got a little, what's the pink mark on there about?
I don't know.
Huh.
But tape was up in here.
Yeah, it shot a little low. We'll see if that trend continues though. Okay, we're gonna try a smooth bore now, see how it functions through that. Got Greg up with his Weatherby no spin at all. If these fly without a, stable without a spin, that's really good. Okay, whenever you're ready.
All right, here we go with the Oric.
Oric vacuum cleaner.
Ready?
I'm ready.
Oh.
1356.
This test is very revealing about the stability of this slug. Without any spin, the Moose bullet is extremely stable in flight. The smoothbore shotgun has a 20-inch barrel. The rifled Mossberg has a 24-inch barrel, so that's why we saw a reduction in velocity.
I believe the Oric is bulletproof. It stopped
Woo! It captured it at least.
it. Isn't that funny?
Did you see this?
And then you found it?
There it is, right there.
Did you see this plate where it entered? Perfectly.
The toilet paper's still in there.
Look at
There's not much, there's really nothing holding the toilet paper in there. You can see it, There you go. I can't believe it stopped it. What all the stuff in there stopped it or what?
Looked like
Cat litter or something?
Concrete or cat litter or something.
Yeah,
Cat fur,
cat fur.
polka dots, something.
Look at this.
The party cat.
That entrance hole.
Yeah,
just
and it was flying straight.
perfectly clean cut hole in there.
Yeah.
And we saw
Isn't that something? I thought it would just go right through it. These are no slouch, we're getting close to 1,400 feet per second.
It stopped the suck.
Okay, lead plate at, again, 12 yards?
Yep.
Okay,
On the Black Star.
again through the smooth bore. They seem very accurate through the smooth bore. Let's see if that trend continues though. Okay, I'm ready. It hit right.
And again, without spin stabilization, the Moose bullet was extremely stable in flight. It was just a little bit off, and that again could be human error. The Moose bullet is definitely showing promise as a universal slug, being able to shoot through any type of shotgun, as long as it's 12 gauge.
So it hit a little bit slightly right. Left a lot of its debris in there, but this is what we found on the ground.
Yeah, it just bounced out a couple feet in front of it.
Looks like a big quarter.
Here's our TP.
Better question, Jeff, is why is your TP red?
I marked it that way so we could see if it's spinning
okay.
or
I
not.
thought maybe there was an issue we needed to talk
No, not from a nosebleed or nothing.
Oh,
I had that stuffed in my
not what
nose.
I was thinking.
Okay, you might be a little optimistic here, but we have a lemon at about 12 yards or so. We haven't quite sighted these things in, so if he misses, I'm not going to blame him, but
Yeah, you will.
we'll blame Danny. Okay, I'm ready.
Here we go.
Holy,
Nailed it.
these things are looking good.
Nailed it.
Well, when you aim small, you hit small. At least that's what Greg always tells me. Once he figured out where the point of impact was, he was able to make minor adjustments and just dial that thing in. You couldn't get more accurate than that. So at 12 yards, these things are looking really good. Let's move the target back a little bit and see how these things perform at a little further distance.
Now we'll see how these do at 50 yards with a smooth bore. Aim at the left sack.
All right, at your left sack, I got it.
You said sack. Okay, I'm ready.
There we go. That one hit something.
Yeah.
Well, it hit a little bit low and a little bit to the right, but not too bad. Not too bad.
Okay, now through the Mossberg full rifle barrel.
At Jeff's left sack.
Left sack. That's like saying sack. Okay, I'm ready.
Jesus. Ready?
Mossberg, I'm ready. Left sack, I'm ready. There you go.
Knock that one over.
Yeah.
Folks, that is one accurate shot. We have just one more round to shoot. Let's see if Greg can hit the barrel.
And just for kicks, we're gonna go at 100 yards with the rifle barrel.
I held at the top band.
Now it looks like the elevation was good, and it just shot a little bit to the right of the barrel. Let's take another look at that though. I think with a little bit of adjustment, he could really dial that in.
Well, it punched right there in the center of Jeff's left sack, and just about wanted to crack the top of this thing off.
Yeah, yeah.
Had enough force to
Dang
knock
it.
it over.
I was hoping to break it into little pieces and make it easier to carry.
Well, don't go swimming with that thing. Heavy little bag.
And then the 100-yard shot just looked like it went right over the top.
Yeah, the only strike on it with a slug is Danny's from earlier.
Yeah, the round ball.
He's rotated the barrel.
Darn it, darn it, darn it.
Larry sent us nearly 30 of these moose bullets. Because it takes 10 to 15 minutes between each shot when we're filming, we didn't have time to shoot all 30 of these. But because these show so much promise as a 12-gauge projectile, I decided to send the remaining moose bullets to another YouTube channel called Fortune Cookie 45LC. While we kind of show you the rough potential of different slugs, Steve is extremely meticulous about reloading shotgun shells. And he's really an inspiration to many of us. Using his years of experience, hopefully he'll be able to dial these things in and make his own determination if these are a viable 12-gauge round or not. Now, because both Steve and Dave from Thorzak's show how to load shotgun shells, how to cast bullets and all that, they've been hammered really hard by YouTube, and a lot of their stuff is only available on Patreon. They can't even upload a unlisted video or private video on YouTube. They have to upload on different websites like Vimeo and then share it with their Patreon supporters. Now, both of these guys are an asset to the firearm community because they show you how to do things safely and responsibly. YouTube believes that by censoring channels like this, it makes the world a safer place. Now, the irony is, ignorance is never safer than having practical knowledge on how to do things safely. I hope you enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching.